So the review guide, these are cyclic. Remember that this has to get the lowest number. Here, which one would get the lowest number?
The ethyl,
The ethyl. Why is that?
because of the alphabetical order.
Yeah, you got it. It's just an alphabetical order thing, right? That matters when you only, that's the only option you have, then that actually matters there.
Mr. Jackson, I have a question.
Yeah.
Number two, should we look at it as on the first page? Should we look at it as like the like whatever? Actually, never mind. Never mind.
Propylcyclobutane.
Yeah, for 1 second, I was thinking that was a benzene, and I was thinking of something.
That's the next page. Good question, though. So here, is this constituent the ethyl or the benzene?
Would it be the
The benzene is the constituent, the branch, the thing coming off. The ethyl. So this would be ethyl benzene, right? Ethyl benzene. But right here, what are we gonna do?
Wouldn't you change it to like phenyl since it's a substituent?
Here it would be phenyl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So would phenyl get phenyl would get the priority because it is a special case group. So we would have 3-methyl, 2 phenyl. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pentane. Right? Remember that if it's the main parent chain, we call it benzene. If it is the branch, we call it phenyl or phenol. Now, the thing is sometimes it's hard to determine. Well, you have to ask yourself this question. Can I name this with a branch naming term? Can I name this with a branch naming term? Can I name these with branch naming terms? Can I name this big thing with branch naming terms? If I can't name this big thing with branch naming terms, then the phenol is the branch. Right? This is simple. That's an ethyl. This is simple. These are all what? Methyls. What the heck is this? You know, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's some type of pent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's like three ethyl pen 3-ethyl pentane. So I can't name that with a branching name. So I'm going to then have to use this as the branch, the phenol as the branch. And something that this just shows you like constructing something thoroughly. Anytime you have like a double letter, we saw this yesterday too with triiodide. Anytime you have a double letter, you would have a hyphen in there. I apologize for that. But I was trying to get this to you guys as soon as I could, and while minimizing mistakes, but some got through. That's what I'm showing you now. Hopefully I can catch most of them. Page 2, number 9. What's this dude?
Alcohol.
Alcohol? More specifically?
Propanol
Propanol?
or 2-prop?
Actually, it has to be 2-propanol.
Yeah.
Because we could also have that on a primary carbon. Does everybody know what a primary carbon is? It's a carbon that's like a CH3 on the chain. This is, yeah, this would be a secondary carbon. We need to make sure that we have that 2 there to identify that it's on a secondary carbon. What is this guy?
Is that an ester?
Well, that is an ester. Good call. How do we name esters?
Don't you do like the 08 thingy-majig?
We do the 08 thingamajig. So we take a look at this, and what is this group coming off the O?
Methyl.
That is a methyl group. So we'll call that methyl, and then what is this group?
Propyl.
Propan. Propan 08. And remember, you're not required to name these. All you would have had to do with this is say that this is an ester. You would have had to name the alcohol. Alcohol. What is this thing? It is not also an ester.
Is it an ether?
Not an ether. And it's not an amide.
Oh, it's a ketone.
It's a ketone. It is just a double bonded O to the chain. So that is a ketone. Can anybody name this ketone?
Is it 2-butanone?
2-butanone is correct. It's on the second carbon. And the way we change it to name a ketone is we change the E at the end of it to none. Or we add 1, replace the E with 1. Butanone. Again, you don't have to name the ketones either. You just need to name alcohols and aldehydes. Go ahead and take a second and draw this one on a scratch piece of paper. 2,5,6,7 tetramethyl oxide.
Can we do like the stick model, or do we have to like write out all the carbons and stuff?
You can do whichever model you want. One for the Chiefs Sunday because you hate Tom Brady. You like plastic. Does anybody see a problem with this one?
Wait, you can't have another methyl group added to the carbon that's triple bonded, right?
Right. Yep. This is a very hard one to stick out. If we take a look here, we cannot have a triple bond on this carbon and a methyl group because how many bonds will it have? 5. And we said earlier that carbons can only have what? 4. So there's something wrong with this name right here. And as I said, as things are released, sometimes there's mistakes made.
Did you have to
go
the
ahead.
octane?
What's that?
Do we have to add the number to the octane to just denote where the triple bond is?
That's possibly something that was missing from it. It may be instead 1, 2, 3 octane or something like that, but then that would actually put it here. So who knows? But there is definitely something missing on it. But if you drew this, that's exactly what that said, which is good. Since it's on the 1, we wouldn't necessarily need to put the 1 on there. But yeah, I mean, even if you put it there, yeah, this would actually give it lower numbers. So that this is just a mistake. It's not a good one. I just want to make sure that you don't get too stuck on it if you thought like, wait a second over the break because you're only gonna get to talk to me on Wednesday, right? 1,2,1,3 pentadiene. Either one of these will work for UPAC penta 1,3-diene or 1,3-pentadiene. The same thing. We have two dienes. It is penta 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have on the one. I'm sorry, diene, not ene. 1, 2, 3. Wonder what she wants to know about the density graph. Here is this correctly denoted, that cyclooctane with the hyphen in there. Well, last but not least, let's take a look at these real quick. What is this?
Esther.
Esther. Can you name it? Good thing we don't have that naming on the test. It starts with Ethel. Now we're going somewhere. Ethel.
Is it just ethyl ethanoate?
That's a good guess, but the problem is this.
Oh, it's ethyl propanoate.
There we go. Good. What's this thing?
Is it an aldehyde?
Aldehyde. At the same time, Jinx. You owe you guys a Coke. Aldehyde. I don't know how to spell it. Aldehyde. Somebody want to name it? Two ways you can really mess this up. Every other teacher's been talking about microaggressions. This is a big thing this week. So. There's two ways you can mess this up. Can anybody name it? 4 carbons is bute. Okay, that's good. So bute what?
Butanol.
Butanol. Now what?
Don't you have to mark the bromo?
Yep. What's it gonna be?
2 bromo.
What do you think is most important? Giving this one or giving this two? Yeah, right. This is 1, 2, 3. So it is 3 bromo butanol. Whenever I was a kid and I was taking karate, and we had these speed bag tests. We had the 2 teams or whatnot, and then like he'd go, and you'd sit there and punch and see who could actually hit the bag first, right? It's basically to teach you reflexes and stuff like that. Well, when most people sit there and have a contest or something like that, you usually congratulate the winner. I will never forget this. It was like the last 2 contestants, and it was a tie. And the 2 kids punched, and it was really close. And he just points to the team that was slower in his mind, and he goes, "Losers." And that's microaggression. Like that's like usually you don't see that. And these kids were 6 to 10 maybe. So I was just sitting there like, there's only 2 ways you could mess this up. Like that's very negative like way to say it. Like we were just talking like over the years in my other classes as well, but just over the years how the profession has changed from me looking back at my teachers and stuff like this. And one of the ones that like they're showing us this video, and I know for sure that this sounds just like my physics professor back in the day, but it's like the guy in the video says, you're really good at math for a girl. And that's like a microaggression, but I can almost guarantee my physics teacher said stuff like that back in the day. Whenever he had a really, a student that was really good at something, I don't think, you could, maybe you could go to college instead of being like a house, like that's like microaggression. Like, yeah, I mean, in today's culture, it's way different. I mean, this isn't even a microaggression, but my American history teacher, or my government teacher, he actually got so frustrated at my buddy Ramsey, and he told, uh, there was an Indian girl, and he basically said, why don't you and her get on a boat? Like, he told this to a class of 30 people, and it was crazy. And I was sitting there like, and I could see Ramsey. You guys know John Claude Van Damme is like an actor, like, yeah. So Ramsey like was all into John Claude Van Damme and stuff like that. And I thought Ramsey was gonna get up and just clock this teacher, like just knock him out. Yeah, very muscular guy, right? Yeah, because I could see his jaw just tense, and like I was like, I can't believe this. I was like, we need to tell somebody about this, and I don't know if he ever, like, it was so weird. Yeah. So if we take a look here, what do we have right here? This thing. Louder? Yes. And we got a bunch of stuff going on with this one. What all we got going on? What is this thing?
Benzene.
Benzene. But it's not going to be benzene. What's it going to be? It's going to be benzene.
Benzenol.
Benzenol. So that right there is going to be the one carbon. So what are we going to denote this? 2-bromo. 2-bromo benzenol. What is this thing? It's a ketone. Good. You want to name it? 2-butanone. Good. It's the same as before, isn't it? Same one. 2-butanone. Basically, I had to grab from a bunch of different sources to get this. This is another alcohol. Okay, we haven't done one of these yet, so let's do it. What is this guy?
Carboxylic acid.
Carboxylic acid. You want to go for it? Anybody? Well, let's get this
Is
out
it
of the
like,
way. What's this
is it
guy?
like 3-methyl hexanoic acid?
3-methyl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hexanoic acid. Boom. Oh, there's no E on acid.
The carbon that's attached to the acid part gets
That's
denoted as 1.
Yep.
Okay.
Up here with the aldehyde. Last thing, all you got to do is recognize the difference between the two of these. So imagine you have an ester and a nitrogen replaces the oxygen group from that. That is known as an amide. That is this CN coming off this double bonded O. That's probably what a lot of the N's that you have in that compound you were talking about, probably that. Amines are different. Amines are ammonias, like NH3, but basically they can have all these different R groups coming off. If you don't know what an R group is, what have you been doing? It's basically just a carbon chain of some kind. It doesn't matter how long it is, it's just an R group. So, I mean, you're going to have all 3 of the H's replaced. You're going to have 1 of the H's replaced. But basically, that's what you got. That's an amine, an amide. An amine, it kind of looks like the nitrogen is within the chain and that type of thing, and chains are coming off of it. An amide, you got to have that double bonded O there. So there we go. That's all I wanted. If you want to stick around and ask questions, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, get out of here and have a good weekend. Yep. So the amide is if you have an ester, like think of it like an ester. You have a double bonded O and an O here. But if it's that O is instead an N, then it's an amide. Like imagine this one right here. If instead of that O right there, we had an N, that would be an amide.